So in the trading space right now, there's a lot of different ways that you can look to take trading seriously. Number one, you can get involved with a prop firm where you can get hold of a lot more trading capital that can allow you to take trading full time. The other opportunity is obviously depositing into a regular brokerage account and trading it that way. But obviously we know this is going to take a ton of time because you're starting generally with a small amount of capital. And we cannot go out and take investments from other people because we are not financial advisors, right? Well, what if we could get our hands on other people's capital and trade that and do it in a legal way? Not only that, but the person who's doing this with the most capital at the moment is trading $33 million worth of capital and is earning $800,000 per year trading with this exact same method. One thing I want to stress is that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to get millions of dollars of capital right away, but you're going to have to build up a track record, and this gives you the opportunity to do just that. So essentially the platform that we're talking about is Darwin X0, and Darwin X0 gives traders the opportunity to get funding provided that they create a track record. And it allows you to create a track record and then eventually attract investors to your track record. And so all you need to do is, I think it costs 95 euros to get started. That's your initiation fee, which allows you access to the calibration stage. Now, the calibration stage is basically a minimum of 10 days that you go through where they calibrate your trading as well as your risk and all of those things. They just monitor your trading. There is no targets. There's no evaluation like with a prop firm. It's not the same thing. You can then potentially get allocated your capital. You'll see that there's a leaderboard of traders, and that leaderboard of traders gets allocated funds based on their performance. The way they determine who gets what capital is based on your score, and your score is based on 3 different metrics. These metrics are based on your current month's percentage gain, as well as the last 6 months percentage gain. And then they also take into account your drawdown. Once they put all of these metrics into their risk engine, it then spits out a score. And if your score is over 75, you will immediately get allocated the minimum, which is $25,000. Now, this $25,000 is where you start off. And so from there, this is where it starts to get interesting. All you need to do from there is continue to score in that similar kind of zone, and every single month after that you're going to get allocated a certain amount based on your score. And the way you can determine how much you're going to get allocated is based on these 3 metrics, and I'll show you an example of that. So let me show you how it works. Under capital allocation, all we're going to do is have a look. So as you can see here, the percentage this calendar month, okay, is one of the metrics. So let's say we make 5% this calendar month. Cumulative percentage return for the last 5 months as well. So let's say we've only been trading for 1 month. Cool. Make it 5% as well. And then your max drawdown. Okay, so let's say we got like 4% max drawdown. Okay. Whoops, it must say minus. So as you can see, our rating is 86, and so your expected allocation would be 40,000 euro, okay? And that would be our first month. If we made 5%, we only had a 4% drawdown, and obviously our cumulative percentage return would have been 5%, okay? And so that is how they calculate how much they give you per month. Now, how it works is that in Darwinius Silver, you have 3 months of retaining your allocation. So let's say for these next 3 months, we earn 5%. We have a cumulative percentage, and obviously the higher the cumulative percentage is, the more allocation we will get per month. So obviously we will get even more than 40,000 euros per month. And then our max drawdown continues to stay at -4. We will continue to get 40,000 euros every month for 3 months. So eventually we will end up with 40 plus 40 plus 40, which will equal 120. Now that will be your allocation. Okay, so that's 120,000 euro that you will be allocated. Now, you might ask, what happens if I have a bad month the following month? Now, if you have a bad month for the following month, all that's going to happen is that you're not going to get allocated as much. So like I said, you get allocated for 3 months. And so what's going to happen is, let's say for example, we have a not as good month and we score lower on the 3rd month. So what's going to happen there is we are going to get allocated, let's say for example, 25,000 euro instead of 40,000. So what happens is the first 40,000 we got falls away, and then the new 25,000 is going to take its place. And so instead we're going to have about 105,000 euro in our account versus having 120,000 euro. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Some people get confused with it. Now remember that this is a very conservative estimate, and if you have results like this on a monthly basis, you will continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger accounts until eventually after 8 months of a track record, you can then be considered for Darwinia Gold. Now, Darwinia Gold allows you up to 500k allocation, okay, if your return is better than other traders. Okay, so again, you're going to be on a leaderboard essentially, and the higher up on the leaderboard you are, as you can see down here, is what your allocation is going to be. So as you can see here, this guy here is the 5th on the leaderboard, and he gets 165,000 euros per month, right, or for that month, allocated to his account. And so eventually the max you can get is 500,000 allocation. Okay, and so what that essentially means is that if you are the number 1 on the leaderboard, you can essentially get 1.5 million in allocation. Then the next step after that, okay, would be obviously you can eventually be open to investors. Now, once you get to Darwinia Gold, investors then can give you more capital on top of this, okay? And that is how you get to those big million euro numbers, $1 million numbers, okay? And that's essentially where the gentleman is right now, who's trading 33 million euros in allocation. So essentially, once you get to Darwinia Gold, you then have the option to get extra investments from these investors that are around on the Darwin X platform. And they will add extra into your allocation, essentially. And with that, basically the sky is the limit. And then obviously the next and final stage is Darwin X Pro. And essentially, the hedge fund as a service is what they offer to you, and essentially they give you access to having your own hedge fund essentially, and they use their infrastructure to set up a hedge fund for you, which is absolutely nuts. In terms of looking long term and keeping your track record going long term, having a Darwin X0 account is a really amazing opportunity for you to earn even more and add extra capital on top of your prop firm accounts, which why the hell would you not? Especially since all you're essentially risking is that 38 euro that you pay per month for the subscription fee. All right. And so once you're trading a few $100,000, which is quite doable with this, all right, after a few months, and essentially you can, after a couple of months, get allocated, at least $25,000, which you can earn a significant amount on. So I would suggest you guys take advantage of this opportunity. There is a link in the description that gives you 20 euros off your sign-up fee, all right, and that brings it down significantly from $95 to $75. I believe. So use that link in the description to get $20 off if you want to go down this route. I'm going to be hopping onto a Darwin X0 account and documenting my journey on there, and I'll be updating everybody in my Telegram group, which I suggest you join, because I'm also posting every single trade that I take in there that you can follow along with. And so if you're not doing that, you're missing out. I highly suggest you join in there. I'll also be updating how my performance on Darwin X0 is, how I'm doing on the leaderboard. And if you guys want to join as well, let me know. But what I suggest is make sure you've got a good edge on the market, and build your track record, and this is one of the best ways to do it. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy the value that I drop on this content, please do consider subscribing below and letting me know in the comments what you enjoyed about this and what you want to see in future. So cheers everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in future videos.